This is Gigi Sabat, and you're listening to the Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Thurben James. Welcome to the show, Thurben.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's such an honor to have you here today. Now, why don't you start off by telling us more about you and where are you from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I live in Tampa, Florida, but I'm originally from St. Croix, just a small little island in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And aside from that, in terms of work, so I run a mastermind group where once a month I have a millionaire come in and talk to the group about how to make six figures and just how they've built, the successful careers they've had. I'm also in commercial real estate, so I'm actively, as we're speaking right now, working on acquiring an apartment building, one out in South Carolina and one in Georgia. And then besides that as well, I'm also an author of four books. The main two I talk about the most is how to read 50 books in a year like a CEO. And then the follow-up book to that, how to read 100 books in a year like a CEO. And I'm also working on building a private school. So got a lot on my plate.
Tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to read 50 books, Thurben, and then not only that, but write a book on reading 50 books.
I mean, my story is like it's so it's I
It's
really
incredible.
didn't set out to like read that many books initially. Like that was never my motive. So I'll tell you how it happened. So there was this girl I went to high school with, and me being a dude was I just wanted to date her. So I slid in the Instagram DMs just to start a conversation with her, and then she was the first rich person I've ever met like in my entire life. So like, and when I say rich, I mean like rich. Like, so every week I saw her like on private jets, owned a Tesla, getting driven around in a Ferrari, like that kind of rich. So she got me pondering the question like, how do I get rich? Because like, me, I come from a like low middle class family. Mom's a CNA, dad works for the state as a disability examiner. And so I was thinking to myself, like, how do I get rich? So she ends up recommending I read this book. So I read it. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like it. But the reason I mention that is because it got me started on the path of like seeking more information on how to change my situation. So from there, the first year I met her, I read like 10 books. And then the following year after that, I read 75 because I was just like obsessed with like personal growth and like, how can I become successful and change my situation? That's kind of the main motive. But I never had any plans of setting out to do that. It's just, I like the lady. That's how I became that. And then in terms of writing the book, on how to read 50 books. So that was a process. So it wasn't an overnight thing by any means. Um, what happened was I read like 75 books the year after I met her. Then I read 70 in another. I had a single month where I read 33 books. And then last year, speaking, I read 107. So a lot of people just continually kept asking me the same question, like within these entrepreneurial, circles, because that's the type of people I hang around. A lot of people just kept asking me, like, dude, how do you read so many books? So it got me thinking, like, oh, this is a problem that people have. And if there's a problem, that means there's an opportunity to make money. Um, so with that, I ended up doing some research, and I'm thinking because I wanted to be niched. I didn't want to make a book that anyone else has made before. So I actually just doing some Google research, and I was thinking, because there's this statistic that says the like top CEOs like Bill Gates and so on read like 50 books a year. So I thought, wow, let's title it "How to Read 50 Books in a Year." So I look it up. No one has a title for it, and so that's kind of how that idea came about.
I love it. Now, Thurben, tell us a little bit more about the major challenges that you had to overcome in your life.
Oh, how deep you want to go?
You can do it.
All right. So one of the challenges that I had, so at 18 years old, like I regularly thought about suicide. Um, but that was like before I met Jordan, which is the girl that got me on my journey of reading these books. So I was just like, I had this old Mercedes at the time. You know, it was leaking gas every day. I didn't have money to, fix it. And the reason I was even driving around in it is because I had no other way to get to school or how to make money, right? Because in Tampa, everything's like an hour, 30 minutes away. So like you can't rely on a bus to get around here. You just can't. But but yeah, so I'm kind of like in the dirt, just like mentally just not there. And just I would say the biggest thing that changed my life was just changing my surroundings, like talking to Jordan, like just being around a rich person was like pouring into you like life and believing that you can do something you've never done before. It and then just hanging around business owners that are like, man, you're freaking amazing, kid, keep going. Like that is that's what's kept me going. And then until I eventually got to the point where I'm doing that for other people, but in a different way, of course. But um, so yeah, I would say the biggest thing for me has just been like change your surroundings. If you don't like how your life is, hang around some new people. Go to business events. Go to places where you can meet the people that can change your life. Or sometimes if you get real lucky, like I did, you'll run into them on your own. But yeah, that's what I would say. Just you know, just hang around new people.
Excellent. Now, Thurben, what is your best advice to someone who is considering suicide or knows someone who's experienced that as well?
Um, the biggest the biggest thing I would say is just know you're not alone. Know that there is hope. Like so long as you have breath in your body, there's a chance your situation can change. And that means you also, if you have breath in your body, that also means you have the ability to take action to change it. So I would say, I mean, for me, this personally hits home. So like, if anyone was in that place, I would be happy for them to. You could put my contact information. They could call me, talk it out, have some accountability. But also just like I mentioned earlier, just hang around better people, new people, people that push you forward, believe in you, and also you got to do the work of. I mean, because I'll be honest, the part I don't talk about is you're gonna have some nights where you gotta get through it here, and this is the thing that makes or breaks businesses, relationships, is their mind. You got to work on that. So those are the things I would personally suggest.
Very powerful statements. And so what Thurban is saying here is to don't give up and that you're supported and to keep going and also keep the faith. Now, Thurban, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
um. So I'm not the biggest believer in quote unquote happiness. I'm more of the belief. I rather be of value and of service and live a life that I'm fulfilled by, where I'm adding value to other people. That's the most important to me. And like what moves me most is like knowing what my purpose is, and that is become a multimillionaire, and go build other millionaires and go like make other people successful. Like that is, once you figure out your purpose, the rest takes care of itself. You'll know what to do every day. What to strive for. And I'd say if you don't have a purpose, I would first figure that out. Like take some, time to reflect, and it's okay to not know the answer. You know, life is there's ebbs and flows to it. Maybe because for me, I didn't decide to make a book overnight. Like that took like that was like a 4-year process before the idea even hit my brain. Like so, I'd say take it day by day, and focus on just moving forward with your life. Like if you are somewhere where you don't like, just take that next step. That could be showing up to class if you're in college, or maybe showing up to work, just to build some character and some discipline. But I'd say just focus on finding your purpose if you don't have it, and just take one day forward.
I love it. Thank you, Thurben. Now, where can the audience find you?
Yeah, so they can find me on LinkedIn at Thurben James. I mean, I'm the only me with my name on this planet, so I'm real easy to find. And then even they could connect with me on Facebook as well. Same thing, same name, not changing. I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, they could reach out to me there.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Thurben on all of his social media platforms, and also check out his book, How to Read 50 Books in a Year. And Thurben, again, thank you for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast. You have a great day.
Thank you.
God bless.